Yes, I know, I'm a little bit crazy. I'm going to try a new rig out. It's ever so windy, but I'm going to try it either way. So let's see how we go. The new rig, basically, if you can hear me, is very short snood. I'll just show you it actually, it'd be easier. So, a little bit. So what we got is we've got this. That's going to go to the top of the seat. Then that's on the main line. What should happen is this remains upright, relatively upright. Very, very, very sharp. Brand new hooks. This is the reel that I had issues with the clutch. I've hopefully fixed it now. I'll show you a bit later on how I managed to do it, if it works. It really is quite risky today because it's so damn windy, and there's a lot you can see down the beach there, all of the sand that's blown along. I really don't want to get it into my camera. The camera's going to stand the test of time. My mic is dead, fortunately. I don't know why that's the case, but I'm going to get this rig on there, and I might do a voiceover because it's very, very windy. Sticky black lug, and then that's what we're going to go for. So you can see how this works. That there should pop up like that, present a worm like that. Hopefully. So I didn't put that out too far, just a little bit to the right. We'll see how that fares. I'm going to leave it for a little bit, see what happens. It really isn't that far out. It's only about 40 yards out, that's all. I'm hoping that float's going to hold it up and catch a fish from it. It's a very simple rig. Experiment. The other rig I'm going to try today is this Wishbone rig. So I made it up with size 4 hooks, but I used a component from Veals that makes it a bit more separated in the way that the Wishbone works. Just a little sliver of squid. We'll just put a few little bits in there. Ready. It's nowhere near as windy as it was when I went down Bexhill near Glen Gap. Not even close. And of course, you know what I forgot today, don't you? Have a guess. Have a guess what I forgot. I'll leave it for a couple of minutes, see if you can guess. I forgot my rag. Just a little bit of seaweed. The lug stripped off of it. Might put a bit of a pendulum on there. Just kick it out a little bit further. So far that clutch is holding up, so I'm really pleased about that. After about 15 minutes, it's so just coming up to 6 o'clock, I will bring that in and put that wishbone on there. So the reason why I cast up against the wind, so the wind's coming from the west, so I will go up into the west, is essentially I'm casting uptide. So what will happen is a big bow will be created between my line, the weight and the rod tip, and that line will pull the rig towards where I want to target in front of me, and eventually it will actually catch the bottom of the seabed and it will grip. If the currents are really strong and you haven't got a strong enough lead, or a heavy enough lead with good grippers, what can happen is, especially if you cast directly out in front of you where you want to intend to go, it can then drift further to the left, and that is when you'd often get caught up in other people's line if there's any other anglers there. So when I've got a wind like this, I'll cast uptide just a little bit, and it will crack this bow, and then it will turn the weight around like that. See if I can demonstrate this. So we've got the lead weight here. It will land uptide like that, okay, and then it will start to get dragged by the line like that, and drag it that way, and then of course it's going to grip into the sand when it's dragged that way. If you cast directly out in front of you, then it's got nothing to pull against that direction, so it likely is going to roll instead, and then that will roll down the tide. So cast up against the tide, the wind, and then allow the bow to pull that down in that direction, and then it will get caught up in the seabed. So if you're new to sea fishing, you would have the rod stand orientated away from the wind, so it's facing towards the direction that the wind's blowing. So I'm standing here, the wind's coming from this side, so it's blowing. So if my back is now to the wind, you'll see that my rod stand is also that orientation. So all the force is going to be pushing from behind, and you're going to get a much more stable rod. If you try to fish with your rod dead straight and you're going out obviously straight to the front of you, there's a good chance that your rod stand's going to topple over. So you face your back to the wind, your rod stand going in the direction of the wind, and anything which is of stability like this, you would also face into the wind. Typically, if I'm here early enough and I'm here before the tide even floods, I may put a bait out there while I'm lugging, or I may not even bother with putting a bait out there until I'm ready, especially if I'm doing lugging or something like that. And then when it starts to flood in a bit, this is when the fish are likely to come in closer and scavenge and find all the little tiny gullies and look for the natural baits, or to eat natural foods. And if it's the case I've already got the rig out there already, when it starts to flood in hard, I bring the rig in, put brand new fresh bait on. It's also the case that you can get the fresh bait out there as it's flooding, and then it'd be pushing you back towards the shingle, and then for a good 10 minutes or so you're going to have that rig out in much deeper waters because you've only just cast out and now you've been pushed back to the shingles. Okay, so that bait is gone again. Probably a little bit too rough for this weather. Let's try the Wishbone rig. Just a little swing. I'm glad this clutch is now working. Don't want to do this too tight because I want it to be right dead on the ground. Want to secure something a bit more solid onto that. So I'm going to try some lug again. But I'm going to whip it on there. Don't really like to keep on whipping it on there because it's a little bit of hassle to get it off. But I'm going to try, and I will be putting a bigger lead on there as well. I'll put a good sized bit of squid on there, and I'll get all of this on there, but I will save myself a little bit of time by just putting it on there now. If there's any flatties about, then that Wishbone rig will get them. Just wish I brought my rag with me. I always think of forgetting it. That wind has calmed down a little bit. It's gone just a little bit, it's calmed down. Nice tip on this rod. It really has got a nice tip. Break the lead, see if there's any weight on there. Right, it's starting to flood in now. I'm going to bring this in and chuck out the other bait. The other bait will be then at distance by the time it pushes us back. And there might be a little fishy on this. .6 ounce. not bad. Not bad bit of distance. And that clutch is going in every time. So I'm so pleased with that. That's getting my gear back. It's starting to flood behind me, I can see there. Nothing major. See, look at the tip of it now. It's bending over nicely. Really enjoying this rod. I'm certainly liking the feel and the way that the Century Tip Tornado Supermax Graphics is handling things. It just feels good to cast. The tip looks really great. I've not fished with it loads, but I'm getting a really good impression of it so far, I have to say. It is flooding quite aggressively behind me. Despite there being a blank on the cards, I'm actually quite calm and quite content today. I don't know what it is. I like the openness, I like the space, and obviously fishing in the daylight, it feels more comfortable for me. I feel a bit worried and a bit panicky at night. I've had a few bad experiences fishing at night, and I just get worried when I know it sounds silly, but it's just what it is. That trolley's bang on. That trolley is really good. I'm so happy with that trolley. And this pocket free is holding up. I have to say, it's holding up. There's a whole squid on there, baby squid, but it's a whole squid. A couple of lug attached to it. Hooks are not that big, but I made sure the hook was evidently protruded out at the front. My casting actually feels all right. I'm starting to feel that when I bring it round, I'm starting to feel this bigger arc. I think that's what it is. I've got to try and project it higher, but I'm losing this over the top business, I think. So that flooded in quite a lot. As you can see just how much it's flooded in by. Just brought it back, and it really flooded in within about a minute and a half. It flooded in like that. You can see how the patch of sand is through the middle there, how just in front of that rod stand it's all filled in. We're about 210, 205, possibly 200 yards out of line. So the lug that's out there now is the furthest I've cast in a while, a bait. Getting a bit closer to the camera, you can see how much line is on there, not a lot. And yeah, good job I did bring it in, because the lug's been completely stripped on it. Hook back on with the float. I just want to see how that looks out there. If that float can materialise top of the surface of the water, it should pull it up like that. Totally stripped it. See what comes up. That's what I'm going to put on there. It feels like there's something on it. Could be just weed. Looks like my rigger's broke. Oh, no, it hasn't. No bait on there, though, at all. Let's get this squid out there. That pretty much would be the end of this session. I've casted Uptide with my last little bit of sticky black. I have got some more, but it's way past the 2 hour mark now, so we are at that point now where got rid of the last little bit of lug, and time to pack up and go home. And I think I'm going to bring my drone down here and have a little flight just before the sun sets.